So I was talking to a client this morning and he told me something really powerful. For the first time in his life, he's paid attention to what he's eating and it's completely transformed his relationship with food. Nutrition facts are required on nearly every food item in the world except for raw fruits, raw vegetables, and fish. They list serving information like calories, nutrients, and percent daily values based on a 2,000 calorie diet, which is more calories than most people should be eating if they're interested in losing weight, but that's a whole conversation to itself. The ability to read nutrition facts and ingredient lists will allow you to make quick, informed decisions about what, when, and how much to eat and drink. So today what I'm going to show you is not only how to read nutrition facts and ingredient lists, but how to do it specifically if you live in Japan.
Let's take a break, been a long day. Hit your line, what you fall through with the light sticks. Maybe help me spark the ideas. We got nowhere else to go, it's only up from here. I've been on my own, just running through the field. Say vivid for the ears, I know that's how they like. Yeah, I fantasize, tell me that it's real.
For those who don't know me, my name is Menya, like Kenya with an M, and I'm a health and fitness coach helping people simplify nutrition, become more active, and build confidence for life. Please remember to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications button so that you don't miss out on future videos. Okay, let's get into nutrition facts. Nutrition facts consist of several different items, but the ones that are really important are the macronutrients. Those are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So on any nutrition facts label you see, those three things will be listed. We're going to run through them together. So here I have some supermarket bought sushi. So this box consists of 5 different pieces of sushi, all different varieties, including mackerel, salmon, there's octopus here, shrimp, eel, egg topping, fish eggs, etc. So looking at this, it looks pretty healthy, and frankly, raw fish in many regards is a healthy food. So when you're looking at the nutrition facts, you're really looking at 3 major things, like I mentioned. Total calories, protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So in Japan, nutrition facts are listed in order of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So for total calories, we have 458. For protein, we have 21.3 grams. For fat, we have 7.3 grams. And then for carbohydrates, we have 73.6 grams. So in Japanese, protein is tanpakushitsu, fat is shishitsu, and carbohydrates is tansuikabutsu. The problem with this, especially if you're interested in watching your weight, is that it just contains too many carbohydrates. Is that bad? It's relative. So if you're trying to eat a relatively low carbohydrate diet, you're trying to reinforce protein intake, then this may not be a great option. So in terms of the total calories, it's also worth understanding how that number comes to be. And it's actually very simple. There are 4 calories for every 1 gram of protein, 4 calories for every 1 gram of carbohydrates, and 9 calories for every 1 gram of fat. I go into this in detail in my first ever video, so if you're interested in learning more about macronutrients in general, go check out that video. But for our purposes, let's just look at this. So we've got 21.3 grams of protein, 7.3 grams of fat, 73 grams of carbohydrates. So if you add all those up, it gives you a number very close to 458, which is where this total calories comes from. So let's take a look at some other foods to get a better understanding as to what this actually looks like. So here we have another food item you might find. We've got some sausages that you can find in the supermarket. Nutrition facts in the back. First, total calories, 325. Protein, 12.4 grams. Fat, 29.3 grams. And then carbohydrates, 2.9 grams. So obviously when you look at sausages, the first thing you're going to think is, oh, these sausages consist largely of protein. It turns out these sausages have almost 2.5 times as much fat as it does protein, which is crazy because you would look at this and think that it's a protein item, when in fact this is really an item that consists largely of processed fat. It's one of the reasons I personally don't do sausages at all anymore, even though I really used to like the taste of them. And on rare occasions, if they're well-made sausages, I will get them. But in general, the kind of generic store-bought stuff, I wouldn't recommend to anyone eating. It's just a lot of processed food in general, and then tons of fat you probably don't need in your diet anyways. Okay, let's check out something else. English muffins. 152 total calories, 5.1 grams of protein, basically 1 gram of fat, 30 grams of carbohydrates. So again, as you'd imagine, bread ends up being a ton of carbohydrates. It's basically 5 grams of protein and 30 grams of carbs. So if you're going for a carb-rich option, this is a great option. Again, the only issue here being that it's pretty highly processed, in that it's been dyed white, it's been, broken down and baked into this kind of form. So great option? No, not necessarily if you're trying to avoid processed food. Simply Granola, Quaker, oats, honey, raisins, and almonds. I loved this cereal, and in fact, when I was growing up, I used to eat cereal all the time. That is until I learned how much added sugar and sugar in general is in cereal. So nutrition facts. Total calories, 270 in one serving, which is about 2/3 of a cup. Total fat, 7 grams. Total carbohydrates, 51 grams. And then total protein, 7 grams. And within the carbohydrates, it's got 7 grams of fiber. And the total sugars, it has 17 grams, of which 9 have been added. So you've got, again, good overall ingredients. If you look at the back, you basically got raisins, whole grain oats, almonds, and honey. But in terms of nutrition facts, you've got tons of carbohydrates, and a bunch of which comes from sugar. So terrible option? Not at all. It's a fine option. Just be aware you've got a bunch of added sugar. We've got even more. Beef jerky. Total fat, 1.9. Total carbohydrates, 2. And then as expected, protein, 14, which is actually a really good spread. The only issue is if you actually look at the ingredients, you've got beef, soy sauce, sugar, and salt as the top 4 ingredients, which means that it largely consists of beef. And they've added to that basically salt and sugar. Is that the end of the world? No, it's beef jerky. But in general, it's worth noting that even something like beef jerky has added sugar. And then lastly, we'll take a look at a snack item. You can obviously expect that there's going to be a decent amount of sugar and fat added to this, and there is. Total calories for one small package is about this big, 54. Protein, 0.5 grams. Fat, 3.2 grams. Carbohydrates, 6 grams, of which about 5 come from added sugar. So a bunch of added sugar as you'd expect in this kind of snack food. So food manufacturers are required to list all the ingredients that are contained within their food if the food has nutrition facts. These ingredients are listed near the nutrition facts by quantity, which means that the first ingredient is the main ingredient, followed in descending order by other ingredients in smaller amounts. So a quick and easy way to know what's actually contained in the food you're buying is to just scan the first 3 to 5 items listed under the ingredient list, because they'll be listed in order of greatest quantity to least. So you can basically assume that the food you're eating consists most largely of those first 3 to 5 items. When choosing between different packaged foods, try to prioritize natural, recognized ingredients over stuff you've never seen before or words that you can't pronounce. Ingredients to definitely avoid include high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oil, enriched wheat flour, and artificial colors and flavors. And then in general, here are some really easy do's and don'ts when it comes to selecting food items in a supermarket or a convenience store. Buy fresh, whole, unprocessed food as much as humanly possible. Look at nutrition facts and ingredient lists before buying any food item. And prioritize protein and fiber when making purchase decisions. Don't eat ultra-processed food as part of your regular daily diet. Don't eat food with added sugar as part of your regular daily diet. And do not buy food without looking at the ingredient list and nutrition facts. So in a nutshell, that's nutrition facts and ingredient lists. If you're interested in learning more about nutrition in general, you can check out the ebook on my website. A lot of the information I shared today is included in there as well. So there's one other thing I want to show you that's going to be really helpful for those of you who are living here in Japan who may not read any kanji. And that's actually just using the Google Translate app. So with the Google Translate app, you can open the app, set your settings from Japanese to English, and then click on the camera icon, and it'll actually open up this screen that says aim at text. And from there you can pan over whatever food it is you're looking at, specifically the ingredient list and the nutrition facts, and it'll actually translate it in real time for you. Then if you want, you can click pause translation at the bottom, and it'll take a freeze frame of what you were just looking at, so you can kind of zoom in and have a closer look for yourself. So this can be really, really useful for those of you who don't read any Japanese at all. If you're looking at food items and you don't know what's going on, just grab your food item, grab your iPhone or your Android, make sure you've got the Google Translate app on it, and just scan over the food you're looking at, and you'll actually be able to discern what's in the food in terms of its ingredients, and also each of the individual items on the nutrition fact side. It's a hugely helpful app. I've been in Japan for 11 years, but my ability to read kanji is pretty terrible, so this app comes in really handy when I've found a food with reasonably good nutrition facts in terms of the macros, but I don't know what the ingredients are. I can kind of just crack this open, do a quick scan, and very quickly know what's contained in the food. So definitely make use of that app. Also, if you guys have questions on nutrition facts that I didn't answer, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll respond to you directly. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. See you next week.